over to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much to the DNC team for making today possible and wrangling and herding all the cats in order to just really conduct this historic event that we've had going on for the last week. Well, I just wanted to say welcome to everybody and thank you for joining us today. At our next DNC meeting in August, we are going to vote to elect 75 at-large DNC members and ratify Chair Martin's appointments to the standing committees. Today's elections will help finalize the full proposed slate for that meeting. Here's how the process works. In May, Chair Martin released a partial slate of 60 at-large DNC member nominees and his initial appointments to the standing committees. The candidates that you will select today will be added to Chair Martin's slates for consideration and ratification by the full DNC in August. This process is historic, and it marks the first time that members of the DNC are playing a direct and significant role in shaping these slates. Actions like this are one step towards democratizing the DNC, and together we have the opportunity to ensure that all voices are being heard in our party. Democracy is never simple, and it certainly can't be accomplished alone. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your time and participation today as we participate in this. So first, for the quorum vote. Before we begin, we will establish a quorum, which is 40% of the membership in person or by proxy. We're going to determine the quorum by voting with Election Buddy, which is the same software that you used for the vice chair vote in June, and it's the technology that we're going to use for voting today. I'll ask the staff to give us an overview of the voting system.
Thank you so much, Chair. Hopefully folks are feeling pretty comfortable with Election Buddy at this point, but I'm going to go through a quick overview so that everyone feels comfortable casting their votes. So you've now received an email which contains your unique access key and password. The email also includes a link to cast your vote. That link is also in the chat. So to begin the voting process, you can either click the voting link in the chat or in your email. And then if we go to the next slide. So when you click that chat, you'll be brought to the ballot page of Election Buddy. What's great about using Election Buddy in a meeting setting is that all ballots will appear on this page throughout the meeting. So the voting link remains the same. We'll also bump it in the chat every time we'll need to use it. And then once the votes are active, they'll appear on this ballot page. Next slide. Great. So during an active vote, the ballot page will have a little button for you to click. You can see an example here. It says test quorum vote, but in your case, you should see a orange button that says quorum vote. Once you click that button, it'll take you to the login page. The great thing is that you only have to log in for the very first vote. So everyone go ahead, get that quorum ballot, log in with your email and your 4-digit PIN, and you won't need to re-enter your access key and your password for the rest of the meeting. The ballots will just pop up, you'll click into them, and you'll be ready to vote. But don't worry if you do close out or if your system logs out or anything, you can always log back in with your credentials. So once you log in, it'll take you to the ballot page. This is where you make your selection. So you'll get the question there, you see your selection options. And once an option has been selected, the button on the right side will turn blue. You'll see that green bar on the bottom. You can go ahead and click continue. So clicking continue does not cast your vote. It does give you an opportunity to review the vote that you are casting. So take a second, make sure everything looks great. You can go back and click edit if you need to. Otherwise, go ahead and click submit. When you click submit, you get a confirmation code. This will show up on the page where you have just voted and also be sent to you via email. And then if you go ahead and click next vote, you'll be returned to that main balloting page and all subsequent ballots will pop up there and you'll be ready to go. So thank you all for joining us today and for participating in this process. And thank you all for participating in June where we had over 90% turnout in those elections. So hopefully folks feel good and I will turn it back over to you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Erin. Members, the ballot is in your email and it's also in the Zoom chat. The ballot is going to remain open for 5 minutes. If you're having any issues, please message election support in the chat if you have trouble accessing the ballot. Thank you, and we'll be back shortly to give folks time to vote.
Members, there are 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining. Thank you.
Members, the ballot is now closed. We will have a total for you momentarily. Members, a total of 14 votes were cast and a quorum has been met. Ms. Free?
Yes, thank you. Have you unmuted me?
Yes.
Okay. Juanita Kawamoto is trying to get in and she can't. She's seeing that voting is in progress, but she can't do anything about that. And also Peggy Grove was just kicked off and she texted me. So it looks like she's there. Juanita is saying that she is. Ms. Kawamoto is saying that she's in and she was reading to me. She said she didn't hear any of the words you spoke about.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Free. Election support will reach out to them.
And I tried to go into the chat and you can't put anything in the chat.
Correct. Election support will reach out to both of those individuals. Thank you, Ms. Free. Okay, thank you, members. The report of the quorum, a total of 14 votes were cast. A quorum has been met. Election support, do we want to pause here to allow some time to get those individuals on, or should we continue on?
Chair, it's at your discretion, so we're happy to take your lead.
Okay, great. Let's give both members a moment to be able to join.
Great. And Chair, I do see Peggy Grove on the call. So, Ms. Grove, if you are on the call, please raise your hand or send a message so we can confirm while we work on Juanita.
Thank you, Erin.
Folks, while we have this moment, I just want to highlight that when you click on the chat, you'll have to click on the chat and then there's a new Zoom update, unfortunately out of our control. But when you click on the chat, you'll see that it says everyone and then you'll see new chat. If you go ahead and click new chat, you'll be able to message us for support. So if anyone wants to test that out, feel free. You can also email us or call us on the hotline. And Chair will keep you posted.
Thank you, Erin. Okay, Ms. Grove is on, and we will work on Ms. Juanita. As we are working on that, we will just start with the proposed rules from Chair Martin. The proposed rules from Chair Martin overview and agenda. Our first order of business is to approve the proposed rules from Chair Martin for advisory election that will govern today's elections. You received those rules in the 7-day meeting notice, and DNC staff will also put those in the chat. I will go over some key components of that process right now. The window for nominations, as you know, closed on June 30th, and nominations will not be accepted from the floor. Before each vote, you'll have the chance to hear from candidates joining us today. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks ahead of each election. We will elect our at-large DNC member first, then we will move into the standing committee elections in the following order: Credentials Committee, Resolutions Committee, and then last with Rules and Bylaws Committee. In order to serve on a standing committee, an individual must be a member of the DNC. If a non-DNC member wins a standing committee election and does not secure an at-large seat, the second highest vote getter will receive the nomination. As a reminder, these elections determine who will be added to Chair Martin's slates. No position is considered final until the full DNC membership meets in August to vote to elect the at-large nominees and ratify the standing committee appointments. Additionally, Chair Martin will not appoint an individual to more than one standing committee. Once a candidate has been nominated to a standing committee slate, they will be removed from future standing committee ballots. Proxy votes are accepted, and all proxy votes were required to be submitted to the Office of the Secretary as of Friday, July 11th. No additional proxies or transfer of proxy will be accepted at this time. We will be utilizing a plurality system. The highest vote getter will win. If only one person is nominated for an office, the chair can declare the nominee elected by acclamation. In the case of a tie, an additional ballot will be conducted between the two candidates receiving the highest number of votes. Was Miss Juanita able to join the call, election support?
Chair, we have text called and emailed her. We're still working on getting her, but we will make sure that we give her a call to cast her vote. I would recommend moving on with the rules of procedure, and then we'll work to get her on the call before the at-large vote.
Thank you, Erin. So we will now vote to approve the proposed rules from Chair Martin for advisory election. This vote will be conducted exactly like the quorum vote. Please return to your voting page on your web browser or your mobile device, and the second vote will appear automatically. If you've been logged out of your voting account, don't worry, you can log back in by clicking the link in your email or in the chat and entering your email and your code. Before we move to a vote, does anyone have any questions or concerns? Okay. Hearing no further questions, the proposed rules from Chair Martin for advisory election vote is now open. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Please message election support in the Zoom chat if you have trouble finding the email with your ballot. Thank you, and we will be back shortly.
Members, there's about 1 minute remaining, 1 minute in this balloting period.
Members, the balloting window has now closed and we'll have results shortly. And just for everybody's information, Juanita is participating and she is in contact with staff and her votes will be counted. Thank you, members. The proposed rules from Chair Martin for advisory election have been adopted. At this point, we will now move to at-large member elections. We will now move to the election for DNC member at-large. As you may be aware, the DNC charter requires that the full slate of at-large DNC members be gender balanced. Chair Martin has nominated 60 members. In order to complete his slate and maintain gender balance, each caucus was pre-designated a gender. We will now vote for the position of male at-large DNC member. The following candidates have been nominated: Chuck Hoskin. Chuck is a male candidate from Oklahoma. Brian Newland. Brian is a male candidate from Michigan. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks. When a candidate's name is called, they will be unmuted and begin their 1 minute, and their 1 minute will begin. Once they have concluded the remarks, they will be muted again. We will begin with Mr. Chuck Hoskin. Chuck, your microphone has been unmuted and you are recognized to speak.
OCO, I'm Chuck Hoskin. I was born three things: a Cherokee, a Union man, and a Democrat. That's not a line, that's who I am. And it's how I've tried to live my life. Being a Cherokee shaped my values. Being a Union man shaped my sense of fairness. And being a Democrat gave me the vehicle to fight for both. I'm a disabled veteran who served in the United States Navy, and I'm proud to have worked in organized labor as a journeyman ironworker, a letter carrier, and a public school educator. I was elected to office for 28 consecutive years as a member of the Cherokee Tribal Council, a member of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, and as mayor of my hometown. I've never stopped believing that politics at its best is not about power, it's about people. It's about who gets heard, who gets helped, and who gets left behind if we're not paying attention. Every state is a battleground state, and every citizen of every tribe, indeed our country, is worth fighting for. I humbly ask for your vote. Wado.
Thank you, Chuck. Next, we'll hear from Brian Newland. Brian, your microphone has been unmuted. Please begin.
Miigwech, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to all the members of the caucus and to you, Chuck, for also being willing to serve. It's great to be with you all this evening. My name is Brian Newland. I'm an Ojibwe member of the Bay Mills Indian community here in northern Michigan, where I was born and raised. And I have spent almost the entirety of my career in public service. I come from an area growing up where we were represented by Democrats. And then over the last 25 years, I've watched that change as our rural area has gone from reliably Democratic to purple to reliably Republican. But all through that time, like across all of rural America, you can see these little blue islands in these red seas on the map. And that's Indian country and Indian people. Indian people have shown up for the Democratic Party, and I want to help be a part of a party that shows up for them and asks them how to make us competitive in these rural areas again. Miigwech, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. That concludes nominating speeches for our candidates for DNC member at large. The at-large member vote is now open. Please return to the voting page on your web browser or mobile device. The vote will appear automatically, and if you've been logged out of your voting account, don't worry. You can log back in by clicking the link in your email or the link in the chat. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Thank you. We'll be back with you shortly.
Members, there are just under 2 minutes remaining, about a minute and a half remaining.
Members, the ballot is now closed and we will have a total for you momentarily. Thank you so much. I feel like someone should play the Jeopardy song or something. Thank you, members. The results are in for our at-large position. Coming in with 9 votes, Mr. Brian Newland. Coming in with 4 votes, Mr. Chuck Hoskin. Brian Newland has received the most votes. Therefore, Brian Newland is our new at-large member for the Native American Caucus. Congratulations, Mr. Newland. And thank you for participating, Mr. Hoskin. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We will now move on to the election for Credentials Committee member. This one should take considerably less time. Arvina Martin has been nominated for the Female Credentials Committee position. Arvina is a female DNC member from Wisconsin. The deadline for nominations for this position was June 30th. At that time, we received 1 nomination. Pursuant to Rule 2A, Arvina Martin can be elected by acclamation. I would just like to put it out to the group to see if we would like to hold a vote. Otherwise, hearing none, we will, pursuant to Rule 2A, Arvina Martin is elected to acclamation. By acclamation, rather. Congratulations, Arvina. You are the Native American Caucus representative on Chair Martin's Credentials Committee slate. Arvina, if you would like to say anything, take your 1 minute to address the committee. You are able to do so. If you would rather not, you don't have to either, but you are welcome to do so. Congratulations, Arvina.
Pinigigi, thank you very much for the nomination, and I look forward to working with you all. That's it.
Thank you. We will now move on to the election for Resolutions Committee member. Donovan Hawk has been nominated for the Male Resolutions Committee position. Donovan is a male DNC member from Montana. The deadline for nominations for this position was June 30th. At that time, we received 1 nomination. Pursuant to Rule 2A, Donovan Hawk can be elected by acclamation. Are there any questions, concerns, issues that anybody would like to raise? Hearing none, pursuant to Rule 2A, Donovan Hawk is elected by acclamation. Congratulations, Donovan. You are the Native American Caucus's representative on Chair Martin's Resolution Committee slate. Donovan, if you would like to take your 1 minute to say anything to the caucus, you are able to do so at this time.
Wow, that was really close, guys. But I super appreciate everybody. I'm sorry my camera's not working right now, but I look forward to working with everybody and see what we can do with this position. So I appreciate you guys and all the work you do. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Hawk. We appreciate you and look forward to working with you as well. Next, we will go to the Rules and Bylaws Committee member election. As I am a candidate for this position, I will be passing it over to Vice Chair Ryan Ramirez to conduct the vote. And Ryan, I'm passing it over to you now. Hope you're still in.
There you go. Am I off mute now? Thank you very much. The following candidates have been nominated for the Female Rules and Bylaws Committee position. Kaylin Free. Kaylin is a female DNC member from Oklahoma. Clara Pratt. Clara is a female DNC member from Arizona. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks. Speaking order has been determined alphabetically by last name. We will begin with Kaylin Free. Kaylin, your microphone has been unmuted and you are recognized to speak.
Just as a point of personal privilege, can you please stop the make sure that they're on now before we proceed? I can tell you, is that okay? I mean, I don't want to be using up my 1 minute, but the chat function is disabled. I've been on the call with the election services. Can we please make sure that Juanita Kawamoto, it looks like she's on now. Peggy Grove is on now. Deb Necht is now on. Can we, I got bumped off during the vote as well.
Ms. Free, it looks like you're breaking up a little bit, so it might be an internet issue on your end, but I will say all 3 of those folks that you've listed are on the call and have been able to cast ballots this entire meeting. We have not started your 1 minute, and you are free to do so now unless you...
Yeah.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
You keep freezing up, Kaylin.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. So I would say let's go ahead and get started.
Hello, I'm Kaylin Free, a proud Choctaw woman. I've also been an attorney with the Department of Justice, an elected district attorney, and represented tribal governments for nearly 40 years. I've argued cases in tribal, state, and federal courtrooms across America and prosecuted everything from murderers to corporate polluters. I stood alone and forced the DNC to live up to its values and hold a fair election. If you want someone who will aggressively advocate for a presidential primary calendar that includes Indian country, who will put hard data before the RBC, who is a skilled and persuasive advocate, I ask for your vote. My ancestors did not walk the Trail of Tears. My uncles did not fight in World War II without the right to vote. And my mother did not drive 2 hours every day to work at an Indian boarding school for 30 years for me to stay silent and on the sidelines. I am here because of them. I will be the voice and the warrior at the RBC for the 574 tribes and our native relatives in Hawaii who have yet to be federally recognized. I ask for your vote.
Thank you, Kaylin. Thank you, Kaylin. Next, we will hear from Clara Pratt. Clara, your microphone has been unmuted. Please begin.
Thank you so much. I'm a member of the Navajo Nation, born and raised on the Navajo Nation at the Gallup Indian Medical Center right up the street from where I'm sitting right now. I had to grow up in really hard times. It wasn't my mother, it wasn't my grandmother or my great-grandmother, it was me. Grew up without running water and electricity, and I guarantee there hasn't been a voice at this level ever that has included diverse, rural, Native voices like mine. I've spent the last 25 years fighting for our communities. I'm still doing it every single day at the grassroots level, all the way to the grass tops level, working with our Indigenous communities from coast to coast, from large land-based tribes to small rancherias, making sure that we have inclusion at every level of federal policy. I've lobbied the halls of Congress for the last 15 years. I'm an entrepreneur and a mom of 2 little ones. But my biggest passion is making sure that no child has to grow up like I did without the basic necessities of life. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Clara. That concludes nominating speeches for our candidates for the DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee. The Rules and Bylaws Committee member vote is now open. Please return to the voting page on your web browser or mobile device. The vote will appear automatically. If you've been logged out of your voting account, don't worry, you can log back in and click either the link or in your email or in the chat. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Thank you. We will be back shortly.
Members, there are 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining to cast your ballots. Thank you.
Members, the ballot is now closed. We will have a total for you momentarily. Thank you. With a total of 15 votes that were cast, Kaylin Free has 9, Clara Pratt had 6. Kaylin Free received the most votes. Congratulations, Ms. Free. I will turn it back over now to our chair, Clara Pratt.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ms. Free. Members, that concludes our business for today. Congratulations to those elected at Chair Martin's at-large and standing committee slates. Your service is both appreciated and essential to the work ahead. And thank you all for your meaningful participation in this process. Today's meeting was one step forward in our continued efforts to build a more inclusive and representative Democratic Party. I look forward to seeing everyone in Minneapolis for the August DNC meeting. Without objection, this meeting is